It is NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. We're at Moda Center in downtown Portland, Oregon. Tonight, it's the Portland Trail Blazers getting set to match up with the New York Knicks. The Blazers secure the opening tip, and we're underway in Portland. Lillard to McCollum. Jumper's good.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
The possession lies with New York. Dennis Smith Jr. sizing up Nurkic. That's what you like to see off the pick and roll. Nice, easy basket.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's a Prob City.
McCollum to Lillard. Here comes the screen. Lillard picked up by Gibson. Has a chance. Lillard shot, no good.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Dennis Smith Jr. trying to cash in on a three-point play. For his career, 69% at the line. Free throw's good. A three-point play, and with that, they go up by 3. Portland's got it. Lillard here against Taj Gibson. Rebound taken by the Knicks. Smith with the basketball. Leads 3. Deep left corner. A pass stolen by Portland. Nurkic to Lillard. McCollum guarded by Taj Gibson. From the outside, no good.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
Kent Bazemore sends it away.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Short jumper stays out.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning an ankle on that landing.
Hassan Whiteside, huge block.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
McCollum, work it down to Nurkic. Defense, making the ball handler work. Whiteside to McCollum. Can't connect, and a putback slam.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
Let's see what the Knicks can do here. Doesn't have the touch. No good. To McCollum. C.J. McCollum. He's 2 for 5. Not great, but trending.
I see this happen all the time. It used to happen to me. Sometimes an easy offense allows more effort to translate to the defensive end.
Dennis Smith Jr. up against the Weber State product. Gets it in the right corner. New York with 4 to shoot to Dennis Smith Jr. Going to launch beyond the arc. Not going down here. To McCollum. To Nurkic. It was right there. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Short jumper off the mark.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Oh, Yusuf Nurkic. 2 for 3 now here in the first. They'll let one fly from half court. We played one at Moda Center with the Trailblazers on top. Jay and I back with more after this. You're watching the NBA on EA Sports. First quarter complete, on to the second period. A little bit of a feeling out process so far.
I really like what I'm seeing. Both teams look engaged. There's some trash talking going on the court. I think this has a making to be a big-time game.
Dennis Smith Jr. Oh, 3 for 8. He's got to do better.
Ed, 2 years ago, I was sitting in the draft room absolutely shocked that Dennis Smith went at 9 in the draft. And when I think about this young man's game, he is just scratching the surface of what he can do. He finished tied for 4th among rookies in scoring last season, and I guarantee you his game is going to continuously go to different levels.
And abuses the rim with the big finish. He took it out on the rim that time.
Oh, there's no better feeling than after throwing that one down, hanging on the rim a little bit, looking at your opponent beneath you, making him recognize that's where you'll be the entire ball game.
Goes to the left side to Dennis Smith Jr. Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. Damian Lillard swats it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
To Whiteside. Taj Gibson. Blocked away.
That one's in the 15th row.
Huge denial. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Ellington, defended by McCollum. Taj Gibson above the rim.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
Trailblazers with the basketball to McCollum. D's got it. Damian Lillard, 2 of 4 now.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
To Kevin Knox. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Lillard to Ken Bazemore. Gets it in the left corner. McCollum to Lillard. Wide open look, won't go. Smith with it up top. Down 5. To Julius Randle. Kevin Knox. Down low for Gibson. To Dennis Smith Jr. Knocks it down off the step back.
The reality is no one can guard a player at his level one-on-one. The help defense needs to be shown, and he needs to see a series of obstacles instead of just one individual.
To McCollum. Here comes the screen. McCollum to Lillard. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Shot off the mark. Good defense. Knicks with the basketball. Smith to Julius Randle. Yes, and and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number 1, create contact, and number 2, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Wayne Ellington at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. A career 85% free throw shooter. Free throw good. A 3-point play as they move in front here just before the break. Lillard to McCollum. The Knicks clear the board. Fires the 3. That misses with 3 seconds left. And it's Nurkic there for the board. So we head to intermission all tied up in what's been a tight one from the start. Let's get you to Orlando, where we say hello to Jalen Rose in our EA Sports halftime report. Jalen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jalen Rose, and this is your EA Sports halftime report. And it's still anyone's game at this point. I get the feeling it won't be decided until the final moments. These are the guys getting buckets. The Knicks will start the third quarter with a tie on the scoreboard. They decided to make a statement in the opening half, and they did it by throwing down dunk after dunk after dunk. I think the rim is still shaking. Have a look at the leading scorers.
Game track. Assists.
We're seeing unselfish basketball in this matchup, with each team turning good shots into great shots. These squads really know how to let it flow.
Player of the half.
The film speaks for itself. He's definitely the player of the half. Now he just got to give an encore to get his team to win.
Who was cold?
Smith just can't seem to get it going. He's been suffering through miss after miss, and no matter what he tries, it's just not working for him. Here we go with the top 3 plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
All right, back to the second half. I'll see you after the game.
Smith now into the front court. Our score all even in this third quarter. Kevin Knox to Dennis Smith Jr. They go down low to Randall. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
Underutilized, underutilized, underutilized. Am I getting my point across? Let's see more of that.
Match up, baby. I'm here. I got ball.
Lillard to McCollum. Here comes the screen. Lillard picked up by Gibson. To McCollum.
I got yours.
Shot clock winding down. McCollum. C.J. McCollum. He's 3 for 7.
And CJ is a guy that doesn't get the respect that he deserves on a nationwide level. 3 straight seasons averaging over 20 points per game. He's a guy that's automatically in range once he leaves the car entering the stadium.
Dennis Smith Jr. defended by Lillard. Screen coming. Smith to Kevin Knox. Down to Randall. Able to convert inside.
Old school equals high percentage.
McCollum into the front court. His guys find themselves trailing by a bucket. And count the basket inside.
Well, you know what the old saying is, when you assume you make a... You know what I'm talking about. You can't fault the D too much there. I was expecting to kick out 3.
To Julius Randle. Kevin Knox. Down low for Gibson. To Dennis Smith Jr. And scores on the step back. Unguardable, Jay.
Man, he's got the defender out there tap dancing like that on national TV. That's not a good sign.
2 minutes remaining in the third.
C.J. McCollum. With that, he's 5 for 9.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Possession lies with New York. Nothing going here on that drive. Converts in the paint. Nice finish at the rim.
Rock-a-bye, baby. Oh, yeah, he rocked him to sleep on that one.
McCollum to Lillard. Nothing going here on that drive. Doesn't get the bounce. Smith into the front court. 2-point advantage. To Julius Randle. Had a chance, but it's no good. Lillard to McCollum. Deep 2 there, won't go.
I hate that that one didn't go down. You much rather go into half with a tied ball game than having a deficit.
Nothing going here on that drive. Kevin Knox to Dennis Smith Jr. Runner's good there.
There you go. I like seeing his scoring coming from unlikely sources.
To McCollum. Baseline drive. To the basket's McCollum, but his shot won't go down. Missed a wide open look. And the finish. Jay, that was unguardable. Dennis Smith Jr. guarded by Nurkic. Has a look. Working hard on the glass. Nice follow-up on the dunk there. Third quarter comes to an end. The Knicks have the lead. It's the Blazers with the basketball as we start the fourth quarter. They trail to this point, but you'd have to say this one's up for grabs.
And the new style we play with in this league, all it takes is 3 quick threes, and you're right back in the ballgame.
Lillard to McCollum. Can't connect.
Your contest was great because of your proximity to the player. You forced his follow-through to be cut short, which made him short-arm the shot.
Lillard for two. Shot by Lillard, no good.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning an ankle on that landing.
Here comes the screen. Smith to Gibson. Slams it down.
Some players are so cerebral. I'm not even paying attention to the dunk as much as I'm paying attention to the player pointing and communicating to everybody his team needs to guard on the next play down the court.
Lillard to McCollum. D's got it. Damian Lillard now 3 for 9.
Look at that, calm under pressure. You see a lot of guys rush those. Nice extra move there.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Taj Gibson trying to cash in on the three-point play. A career 70% free throw shooter. The free throw, perfect. And the lead is up to 7. Portland has the ball. Lillard to Nurkic. Count the basket at the rim.
Great job using that shoulder to create contact with the defender without hesitation.
Into the front court comes Smith. Leads 5. Gibson goes to the right side. Dennis Smith Jr. sizing up the all-star Lillard. And scores on the step back.
Man, if we were at Rucker Park right now, everybody will be wilding on the court. Guaranteed.
McCollum to Ken Bazemore. Couple of cracks at the line now.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
And he connects on the first free throw. And gets both to drop at the line. To Taj Gibson. No, I missed a short one there. Lillard to Ken Bazemore. Lillard to McCollum. 4-3. And the rebound snared by Gibson. To Dennis Smith Jr. Nothing going here on that drive. Smith, they go down low to Randall. Old school, backs his man down for the basket. Now the Blazers will use a timeout, but this game's in the balance, and time is of the essence. He's got it. Damian Lillard, 4 out of 10.
That might have been a little bit easier than expected there, considering the score.
Intentional foul. He meant it.
This is a close game, and possessions are at a premium. That's a good move to stop the clock.
Ellington sizing up McCollum. Now the stoppage and an intentional foul means free throws coming with a little over 30 seconds to go.
In the 80s, that might have been a personal, but regardless, it had the same impact. You just injected a little life into your squad, just when they needed it.
Knocks down the second after missing the first. We'll get a stoppage here. Timeout Portland. It's their second and final one of the last 3 minutes. They cannot stop the clock again.
Our team, turn to page 15 in today's game program for the latest trivia question and submit your answer on the team website. One lucky winner will have a chance to receive $500 by making a half-court shot.
McCollum to Ken Bazemore. Short jumper off the mark. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
Some players are just built to absorb the contact. He pretty much dusted that defender off like that was a bug at the park.
Now we get a whistle. They'll wrap him up with the intentional foul and a little over 20 seconds left to play.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
Can't connect on the first free throw. Good recovery. Hits the second free throw. Trailblazers take over.
I got ball.
Lillard on the drive, but he can't finish. And an intentional foul here in the closing moments. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference in what is now a 2-score game.
Ed, what's that old saying? Ruffled feathers do not flock together? Well, actually, I just made that up. But what it means is that play will cause a little havoc. As designed, the team that uses it to galvanize as a unit will have the advantage.
Able to convert on both free throws. Desperation shot here from half court. It's a victory for the Knicks as they get a good win on the road. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Knicks added a win with today's solid victory. And the way they attacked the rim was outstanding. Not only is the dunk a high-percentage shot, it's also a great way to test the confidence of the defense. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the New York Knicks. The Trailblazers just couldn't get within striking distance toward the end of the game. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Game stats. Player of the game.
Smith put up the kind of points that made him an easy choice for this award. He couldn't be stopped. And when he realized he was in a zone, he just took it to another level.
Who was cold?
What can you say about a guy like this? Except that he fits the title of this segment. He was definitely cold in this game. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.